Welcome to another episode of the Planet Coaster series. And as you can see, I'm actually adding a barrier into that wall because, as David pointed out, people will actually just walk through that section of the wall. They don't care about that kind of collision and stuff, so they'll just walk through it. So I was adding that barrier. Added the wider one at first, but it seemed like they give it a really big area. Like, they'll give it a lot of space before walking past it, and it was kind of causing problems, so I put in the smaller one. And it seems to be working, and yeah, I'm painting the ground because I actually swapped out one of the paints. Again, David pointed out that there was something I could do, and I'm super excited about that. I went in and changed one of them to snow so that we can paint snow in the winter quarter of the park. The problem is it just replaces what you painted with what was there before with the white, and so there were little bits of snow out in the middle of nowhere. So that was a little bit of a problem, so I just went ahead and repainted it with another green and called it a day. I switched out two of the paints. One, I honestly cannot remember what I changed the snow for, like, I think it was like a dried grass or something, but I'm not really sure. I also swapped out the ground that had like little pink specks in it. I think they're supposed to be flowers, but I switched it out for like a brighter, leafier green. Seemed like something I might use in the future. Here I'm trying to find a way to make this roof more interesting. They used something similar to what I had done in the ride building on the horizon. So I gave that a try, it didn't look good, and now I'm trying to build with these small little things. They don't snap to the grid like normal roofing pieces do, and the spacing's weird. They're not a whole square, they're like 3/4 of a square for some reason, so I end up having to use these roof bits and then moving them out to take up a bigger area because there was a gap and there was no version of these smaller ones that would fit in the middle. So yeah, I'm gonna spend way more time. Like, I don't remember how much time I spent on this, but looking back now, I realized I spent a long time trying to get this right. And then I remembered that I was able to copy and paste, in essence, several blocks at a time. So at least it just took a long time on the first bit, and then I could completed the rest pretty quickly. And then, I just realized I wasn't quite finished. I'm working on finishing the research. I'm working on purely the placeable rides opposed to the coasters, because I kind of just want to get them out of the way. And then we are working on putting a bit of a balcony roof over this section, but for whatever reason, the flat bits and the angled bits don't line up. Like, it's either a little taller or a little shorter than the flat piece. So I decided to have it wrap around, but then I still needed the flat piece to cover that area. So I just made it a whole separate building because you can move it more on a smaller scale, opposed to when it's a part of the building it snaps. So that's how I fixed that. It was a bit of a pain though. In the end, I kind of wanted to work on looking at staff and stuff, but I also kind of wanted to save that, so I took a glance there and then just went back to building. I wanted to put in some pillars over this porch area to support that roof. I thought about having some sort of like trim around the balcony right there. Then I saw that they didn't do that with the house that I'm kind of going off of. They just put a fence there, which I kind of liked anyway, because it says it's for the edge of the balcony, but it just doesn't work like I would like it to. So now I'm trying to use the grid down below to make sure that these are more evenly spaced than I could probably do on my own. But I'm real derpy for a couple minutes. It's real instinct to do Control X, which makes a new copy that you can find move around, opposed to just hitting the X, which would have moved just the items on their own. But that's okay. I got it figured out. It took me a bit. I was a little surprised that door was floating, but I guess it's because the floors in that area are a bit, or the walls are a bit off from the rest of the build. I didn't realize that. It makes a little bit of sense, but there you go. Adding roofs to this other tower bit area, and then I'm going to actually change my mind. What I was doing there was checking. I wanted to remove this wall and like scoot it back so the balcony wrapped around the side a bit more, and it made it feel just a tiny bit less boxy, but not a whole lot, but it helped a little bit to add some variation. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fuss with more pillars. I'm good at this. I don't know why it ended up being so that this end one doesn't fit well with the rest of them. I think it's because I lined up the edge to the white line opposed to having it centered on the white line. So this last one's gap is a little smaller than the rest, but I'm okay with that. I don't care enough to adjust every single other one. So we're throwing up some windows and adding a little bit of variety, but there's a ton of them. And we're going to add out this little pushed out area. I imagine it has like storage for the restaurants and just like the janitor and that kind of stuff in this little area, but it also just adds some interest to the shape. So I even go inside and add a door so that it would look like they could access that area. And then I wanted to have a bit of a roof over the doors, just to add a little something, because we can't have door frames or actual doors, so I gave it cover. Really upset that underneath bit, the wood changes direction, so two of them are lined up with the other ones. And I really like the idea of putting those marble floors in, but they were snapping to the tables and I couldn't get them to snap to the actual floor. And I didn't want to take the time to fine tune it, so it stayed the way it was. It's a pretty nice floor anyway, and it's not exactly like it looks like any of the other streets in the park, so it makes sense as a floor, so I just left it. Here I'm adding some pillars to support that entrance, and I'm going to be putting in some lights, light up the area. Oh man, the lights I put inside look so cool. I'm excited to get it in there. Even if it was a pain in the butt to accomplish, it looks really cool once it's done. Even though some of these windows are called lit, they don't actually start out lit, like with the curtains and everything, so I had to go through and find the ones that had said they were and then replace them with ones that actually worked. Because it looks really, I just wanted it to be a bit brighter and to look like there was something inside, even if there are no windows on the inside. Kind of wish that was, they certainly don't plan for any interior areas, it seems like. I guess that makes sense, but not at the same time, because I've been to Disneyland and there's indoors spaces there, but I guess they're all stores. So they covered that by just having those little vendor boxes. But it would be cool if we could set up actual stores and have indoor lighting and it all worked like it was indoors. Because I don't know if it's a setting of mine or something, but they just don't look any different in the day. At night it looks really nice, but that's only because of the lights. But in the day, it just doesn't look like it's inside, I guess. I don't know. Here I'm going to make a copy of what I'm using for the cord for the light. And I make a second one, so there's this random one off to the side. And that's because if you just select the two items that are kind of on the same-ish x-axis, I think? I don't know. The sliders don't align with the item or the build for the here I realize they're just walking through the wall, so I'll fix that in a bit. But I had to have that second item off to the side so that I could drag them sideways with each other opposed to it being off and going at a diagonal from the build. Don't know why it worked like that, but it did. And there I put in some of those barriers so people wouldn't walk through that wall. Again, I really feel like these should just have some natural collision opposed to just every bit of the ground that is a path has his nav mesh so they'll walk through anything. I suppose I could add to some kind of cool magical place where they could go through secret passages and sorts, but I'd rather it have collision naturally. And lighten this little area so they could see. It looks so good at night. Now for a bit of a tour. This is how the interior turned out, and I'm quite a fan of how this looks. Doesn't look as good a day, but that's fine. Just looks so nice once it's night in here. Probably should put a light on over the ATM, but that's fine. Maybe the ATM provides its own lights when you're using it. This guy is super bright, lighting up this wall over here. This is what the outside looks like. Still a box, but you know, it's what I make. So let's go ahead and turn off the settings. There we go. I kind of wanted to use a warmer colored roof just because this is supposed to be like the Thanksgiving haul sort of thing, and it seems like a warmer time. So this is what we've got. Yeah, it took about an hour to do just the outside and these lights, and I'm sure I talked about it, but in case I didn't, what a pain in the butt. Like, I appreciate that there is the duplicate and move around multiple things while in a building, but if you grab two things that are on the same x-axis, I think, it just, I can't get the axis to align with the items. Unless I put down another object that's off to the side, and then it'll line up with what I'm building and the building, but otherwise, no. It goes at a diagonal and it's a pain in the butt. So that was something I had to work with, but we got there. We got it figured out. So yeah, that's gonna be this building for the time being. What else? I added stuff into the walls so they weren't just walking through them. It didn't even occur to me that they would walk through this wall. You think that these bits would be, like have collision on them. You'd think that they would stop people, but they don't. Their only motive is follow where this path is, and, well, the path is there, so they'll walk there. Thank God they put in those barriers. Let's get this playing. Should probably work on some of the maintenance of this park. I noticed that one of our cleaners was working very hard. He had a lot to be doing, so we might want to work on that. And I think I've turned on the staff stuff, hopefully. Can you check on the staff? Let's see, let's check the vendor. So we don't have a staff perk enabled. And yes, so she has energy now. I don't know if they just have that listed all the time, but I think since it's not full, that it is enabled. So let's check out what the perks are. So resilient to being overworked, resilient to being underworked. Ooh. Staff members with this gain faster happiness. While resting in the building, staff will learn more about their jobs, bringing their training date forward. So you can train them faster, I'd assume. Staff security with this perk will have better detection rates. Interesting. Entertainers and vendors with this perk will make the guests they interact with even happier. And rec rooms. So resting here will recover energy slightly faster. I think I want to give it staff entertainment, at least in this one. Confirm. Mostly because this person here can get quite bored. So maybe that will help keep these guys happy. It seems to be my biggest problem with my vendors is that they get bored. So let's go ahead and check the other vending area. Let's turn the camera different so it can scoot on through here. Oh, so he's going in. Yes, no. What a disappointment. And we'll put the same entertainment unless we see something that makes it seem like we need to do otherwise. Confirm. Thank you. It's people who rest here will get that. What in the world do they want? There's an entire building around it. It must be an area of effect kind of a deal. Just because there's not a whole lot of decorations in this immediate area. Which is ridiculous because this whole building is here. Let's see, what do you guys need? Food and drink? Well, you're in the right place for that. Let's check on our, what are them called? Stuff for sale, the extras. Happier, more energetic, thirstier, and more nauseous. Okay,
let's go with sprinkles, and fudge, and wafers, and chocolate sauce. So, because they pretty much all make them the same. I don't know if the percentages change, but we'll see. Let's use that. Is everything synced up? Got the pit stop. Is that synced? Yeah. Ooh. Berry, tropical, lemon, and ice. Okay, so mineral water with an extra large. Let's give it tropical flavoring. And a lemon slice in the normal mineral. Let's give them both ice. Yay! Happier people. That person's standing in a wall. That's fine. Oh, we've got this. Oh, I forgot to adjust the amounts. Oh well, we'll leave them at what they're at for now. I do appreciate that now they're like, I don't want to stand in this line, so they'll go into a different line. They certainly didn't do that before. Let's take off some of these. Less hungry, more energetic, happier, and thirstier. More nauseous, more energetic and happier. Yeah, that one's... So let's do peppers and olives on stuff. Did they change it around on this one? Olives. I didn't want chili sauce on peppers. What are you doing changing it up on me and making me confused? I guess we can leave extra cheese. Take off those, put on olives. They keep getting stuck right here. I keep seeing it out of the corner of my eye. I'm not paying a ton of attention to that, but I think I keep seeing people disappear. And put some of that on. There we go. Your cheese pizza now comes with cheese, peppers, olives, and pineapple. Alright, so let's keep an eye on this area for right now and see if they do indeed disappear for some reason. So that's the pizza place. It's synced up with everything. And we'll get the juice. Soda. And that one's already got the extras and we've put the ice on it. Okay, so those ones didn't disappear. Huh. So we've got ice on everything. Let's see. Nope, we don't want to get rid of the Gulpy. Happier, happier. So let's add a lemon slice to everything because it makes them happier. And we need all the happy.
Alright, there we go. I think that's everything in here synced up. Yeah, I think I just saw another person disappear. What's up with that? Hello? Did you hear that weird, like, humming and stuff? So, maybe these barrels need to be moved? Let's stick them, like, behind these pillars. In case they're, like, turning around getting caught on the barrels. It might also be that they're getting caught in the walls. I don't know. You'd think they'd have the standing not through the wall if they've built these walls specifically to attach to the shops. You think they would have planned for people and where they stood? Alright, so there's that. Let's step back and check out our staff and their happiness and all of that real quick. So that guy's gonna need some rest soon. Happiness is pretty high with everybody. Oh, that guy's heading to the staff. Do we have... Nope, yep, there's some people heading in. Okay, this person's not happy because they need trained. There we go. And we are doing 190 for those people at that level. 190. 190. Oh, multi-shops don't have a vendor. I forgot that they need to, like, physically go level up. So we'll do that and switch that up to 190. So we need maybe a couple more staff or vendors. 1, 2, and then stick one over here. There we go. Let's see, so we've got these two going on. I wonder if I can up the capacity. Oh, you gotta purchase the ability to allow more people in it, and then it's a monthly running cost. Okay. That's fine. That's okay with me. Should probably set up one of these. Let's go with everything in this area. Right? I'm gonna make them by season. So there we go. This roster is the autumn. And save it. And so we'll start assigning people to that as we go and expand. I'm pretty happy that David pointed out that I could switch out my paints. Let's get rid of that. So we now have a terrain brush for snow. Look at that. So we can cover this area in snow. When we get over here. Ew, it's obnoxiously white, isn't it? It's like neon over here. It did result in some areas being like lightly snowed on for some reason. So it looks like when you switch out the brushes, any painting you did with that brush specifically will be swapped to the new one. So as you can see over here, there's still some of that left over. So we'll just paint that over real quick. Alright, so I've also been working on the research over here. Been working almost solely on the rides that you just place opposed to the coasters, just because they get done in a month and it's done. And oh, I guess I could have increased these. I'll make sure to do that next time, so that we're just powering through and getting those done as fast as possible, and we can kind of plan where in the park we're going to want them in the future. What else? Has been empty for a while. Okay. That's a lot of empty shops. Where are you going? She's capable. My paycheck is huge. I'm happy at work. And they're heading off into the staff room. Oh, I think the ghost is in here. Oh no. So they must just come here and stand right within this shadow. I'm working on it. But the ghost is too fat, so it just pokes out and we can see him. Okay. How many staff do I need to be covering it? I wonder if they're all just leaving at the same time because I started allowing it at the same time. Okay, hire staff. Well, let's get you go there. You go there. So there's two. There's some staff walking right there. You know what'd be kind of cool is if there was like staff only paths and tunnels. So that like these guys fill up here and then they want to go down this direction, they could just go underground. I know that's how Disney does it, is there's a lot of underground tunnels for the staff, and I kind of wish that was the case for these guys. Like I could build the paths, but there'd be nothing to stop visitors from using it, so it's a little unfortunate. But I'm gonna have to end that here. We got a lot done with this Thanksgiving building. Still trying to decide if I should remove a good portion of these pine trees and replace them with fall leaves. I'm kind of leaning towards doing it just because this is the autumn area and it just doesn't look quite right without all those really bright colors, so I might do that off screen. That might be the next montage. Wow, where are we? Montage bit. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.